it says we're live, so I'm going to take it for its word since I don't know. Does AI ever lie? I don't know. If humans programmed it, I would think yes. But anyway, so hello, every soul tribe. How is everyone? Speaking favor over us all. And it is a brand new day, a grand day. And so welcome, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for your support. Y'all are just the best. That's all I got to say. So that's why I speak nothing missing, nothing broken, full restoration. We're prospering, you know, we're taking the high road and it feels good. So how is everybody? I had a little BTO going on in the background, but it was really rocking. So I said, nah, but what a group. 1973, almost 40 years ago. Hello, Karen Edmonds. Anyway, that's why we're here, folks. I mean, we're going to be talking about nihilism because, wow, I got into something yesterday, and it's kind of freaky weird that you don't realize what's happening, but wait till you see today. Hey, Teresa, how you doing? I'm just seeing David Castle. How are you doing? Rufus, Big Al, much love to you, brother. David Berry, how you doing? Gaia and Paul, much love to you. Martin and Heidi, abundant love to you. And Tony, love the picture. Hey, Grace, what's happening? Deborah Sloan, John Price, S. Lee, good to see you. Andrew, Truth Seeker, hello. Kirk Plain, Deborah Sloan, Jackie, what's up? So, yeah, tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern time, wherever your reality is. And if you're connected into the net, into the machine, artistfirst.com, Steiger perspective tonight. The theme is waltzing in the minefields. And we are. It's a fact, Jack. Hey, Susie Q, what's up? Hello, Jules. How are you doing, Isby? Much love to y'all. What else is happening? A lot's happening. Lots happening. Real quick, the angel for today. I love how these angels kind of, it's like they wait patiently, say, hey, man, here I am. So this is, I believe this would be Azael. As you can see it, Azael. The angel of fidelity and loyalty. This is angel number 13. Deus super amaneus decantilus. God glorified in all things. Okay, I can do that. Patron of families, married couples, friends, and communities. We're a community. So this is a friend. All right, I give Azael permission. Hey, Kimberly, what's happening? Good to see you. Brings complementary and balance of the masculine and the feminine. Helps to find a true friendship. I have made true friends in here. Hey, Nina, speaking of a true friend, there you are. Good to see you, dear. Left her link down below. Enter into the contest, folks. Brings unity into business and the workplace, provides with an order, harmony, organizational skills, great memory, and perfect intellectual capacity to understand surroundings in a logical manner. I wonder if this angel is Vulcan. Could be. Anything's possible, right? Helps to prepare a meeting, conference, and gathering, helps with self-development, learning, studying, provides good memory, leads towards enlightenment and more complete awareness, symbol of allegiance, unity, and reconciliation. God, I love this angel. Seriously. Wow. Shows how to open the limited mind and learn from past experiences, separates from false ideas and errors of judgment, protects from betrayal, ignorance, errors, lies, and cheating. I love these angels. It's like, man, give me a hug and I want another dose of it. Yeah. I mean, these are the type of beings you just stand next to. And I mean, their influence is just it's just going to permeate you. Let's see. Cures adulterous thoughts, infidelity, and enslavement. Do you hear that the Pope said that, hey, little fornication, little adultery is okay now? Amazing how the truth comes out, isn't it? Protects from being selfish and becoming absorbed in passions, helps to escape. Is that right? Helps to escape the desire. Offers protection when you are surrounded by lies and cheating. Wow. Well, there you go. Gotta love these guys, gals, whatever. I don't know. If the duality of this reality says that, there has to be the yin with the yang. Okay. Wonder how far that carries over into the spiritual realm. I think carries over a lot, just to me. I mean, can a dude come back and be reincarnated as a woman or a dudette? Don't know. What do y'all think? Hey, Thomas, good to see you as well. Tam, hello, Angel 13. Troublesome 93. How are you doing? So, little habit I have, I put my ideas, on like sticky notes, I get them all the time. So I thought this was hilarious. This is a bag full of ideas. About 5 years worth. But yeah. Could you imagine what that's going to be like when I leave the planet? Ay. We're going to go, what was this guy really into? The answer is it's an adventure every moment. That's all I know. Do y'all do that? Do you collect your ideas? Monkey says, but no offense, I like being a dude. I would want to come back. I would want to come back as a woman. I mean, if you really think about this, if the mission is for learning, there are children who remember their life before, and now they are boys before a girl. There you go. It would seem like if you're going to get the full ticket, right, you'd probably want to have the experience from both sides. But the thing is, you just don't remember. Yeah, that's the problem. Hey, Janie, how you doing? Joyce Marie, thank you. Much love to you, dear. Peter, how you doing? Well, thank you, Peter. I mean, you're on the bus, and once you're on the bus, it's very difficult to get off the bus. It's just the way it is. David, thank you. David Berry says he's going to be making a video showing all the cards Big Al has made to showcase them. Keep the eyes peeled. Yes. I'm hoping are we going to be able to get those printed before the end of the year? Because, we're going to do, we have a gentleman who is giving away 3 decks, and I want to get Al on here, get David, get others, and we'll have like a little party, and we'll get Nina on here as well. And if you want to come on, send me an email, and we'll have fun giving away these angel decks. They're cool. I mean, Al sends me each time he gets them done, like David, I have them in a file. And I mean, Al, how long you been working on this? Like 3-4 months? At least that I think that's about right. Hey, Bernadette, what's up? Meditation will let you know if you contact the Akashic record. Well, there you go. Hey, Lisa, Lovejoy, how you doing? Good to see you, Emperor Rex. Yeah. Great, great, Nina. We'll make it happen when we get the cards, and I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Uh, you know, these angels will be there too. I have a sense that they like giving out surprises, good surprises. Not the one that you go what, but yeah, they do. I mean, once you recognize them, and we'll get through all 72. And then we're going to do the ones that the tribe is doing. I'm telling you, if you could get like let's see, impossible for the end of the year, been working on these for at least 4 months. Well, there you go. So that's going to be a great 2022 for some of us. Guy, yeah, I think they do. I have found that when I recognize them and I speak their names, there seems to be a corresponding energy. Cool. David Barry said he's going to be making T-shirts with them on and descriptions on the back. How freaking cool is that? Hey, Red Honey 9, how are you doing? Think about it. Now, those will be, that would be a really good investment. Think about this. You're going into a meeting and you want one particular angel to be with you. Imagine you have that angel on a T-shirt that you wear underneath your shirt, blouse, whatever it is, right? I mean, I'd feel like, Superman, even Mighty Mouse. Here I am to save the day. So, hey, Lost in Space, what's up? Hey, Karen, good to see you, Queen of Quartz. Yeah. I mean, we be freaking Superman and Superwoman, walking about going, don't jack with me, dude. Listen, Nathan, I have the protection that he sent of all 72 of these angels. So I kind of figure it's like this. Well, if I got their protection, at least I could do is acknowledge them, right? Yeah. Andy Kaufman. Now, there is someone I haven't heard in a while. He really was very Lacta. How many of y'all remember Taxi? Great show. That's all I got to say. Good writing back then, those days. So nihilism. How many of you know what nihilism is? I woke my wife up and I said, honey, I'm going to be talking about nihilism. And she kind of rubbed her face a little bit and she said, why are you, what is nihilism? She was like, I haven't even had my coffee. What are you talking about? But it's kind of, when you get into it, it's what I contend is what has moved into our reality. So what is a nihilist? Well, I've went in and I found what I think is a pretty good definition of this. Is the Internet Encyclopedia of Philosophy. If you guys don't have this on your saved browser, you should. It's really has virtually, it is the oracle. That's all I can say. So nihilism is the belief that all values are baseless and that nothing can be known or communicated. On the show tonight, I'm going to address this issue. Do you really think you have an original thought? Does anyone, are you under the delusion that you actually have an original thought? It's deeper than that. It is often associated with extreme pessimism and a radical skepticism that condemns existence. Now, this is something, when this becomes a part of a human being, we think Lucifer, Satan, those are just play toys compared to nihilism. I contend, ladies and gentlemen, since we're now in class, as I speak to the tribe, is that God itself, him, her, Jesus Christ, Buddha, Muhammad, all of them, Kali, run like a scared dog with their tails tucked between them when they find out the God that is called nihilism has arrived. Nihilism will kill the God of the Bible, the Abrahamic God. Any God that exists cannot stand against nihilism and its spirit. They can't, because it devoids the human of any desire to worship any deity of any kind. And without the worship of man, no God can exist. Now imagine what happens if a society becomes run by a nihilist, or how about a group of nihilists? You see, we've been under this deception that the New World Order, the elite are the ones. No, that's just been a distraction. It is the spirit of nihilism that is really the true dark overlord. A true nihilist would believe in nothing, have no loyalties, and no purpose other than perhaps an impulse to destroy. Now, isn't it odd that Lucifer in the Morning Star book told us that this is truly the antichrist, the anti-spirit of this spirit that created this? This is what a nihilist would actually be. It's only here to destroy. It says, why few philosophers would claim to be nihilist, nihilism is most often associated with, of all people, Nietzsche. So, who argued that its corrosive effects would eventually destroy all moral, religious, and metaphysical convictions and participated the greatest crisis in human history. In the 20th century, nihilist themes, this is the etymological failure, value destruction, and cosmic purposelessness. Wow. A cosmic purposelessness have preoccupied artists, social critics, and philosophers of the 20th century. Mid-century, for example, the existentialists helped popularize tenets of nihilism in their attempt to blunt its destructive potential. By the end of the century, existential despair as a response to nihilism gave way to an attitude of indifference, often associated with anti-fundamental nationalism. Wow. It goes on to talk about the origins, and I won't get in because I want to get into other material in here, but it's interesting to see what the mood of our world is today. If you looked at the collective consciousness, I don't see how you could argue how nihilism has not taken a hold of humanity as a whole. We wouldn't have these draconian policies being forced upon the people. And you see, the problem is that there's no hope in it. And that's the first danger sign. I have contended before that there's no love out there. There's no leader of the world promoting a spirit of unity, a spirit of love, a spirit of reconciliation, a spirit of forgiveness. It's just the opposite. Everybody is at everybody's throat. That's nihilism. It goes on to say the earliest philosophical positions associated with what would be characterized as nihilistic outlook are those of skeptics, because they denied the possibility of certainty. Skeptics could denounce traditional truths as unjustifiable opinions. And this is where we find ourselves today. Religion today has taken a major hit. Tonight, I'll bring out the fact that in America, Christianity lost over 50% of their followers due to this event. 50%. And there's a correlation in giving all the way down the line. Many people are saying they don't have it in them anymore. With what they're seeing, their beliefs are no longer sustainable. Many, and this one article talked about how people cannot justify how a just God would allow such things to be unfolding. And others are written that, you know, they basically are hopelessness. This is the spirit, the essence of nihilism. Anyway, I'll leave the link in here. You can get into the article itself, read on it. I got other things I want to cover, because the way I kind of look at it is this, and I don't know what you think as a solution is, but everything that the metaphysical community has seemed to do has failed. We certainly haven't brought the world this great enlightenment that, you know, 10 years ago was the goal. You know, the term awoke has been completely hijacked. It no longer means becoming aware of an ascension, greater possibility. I was talking to a couple of young people in their teens, and it's kind of sad. No, it's not kind of, it is sad. This group, both male and female, none of them have what I would call the spiritual curiosity. It was lacking. There were 5 of them, and it was lacking. They were more into whatever the next thing they were doing, whether a lot of them are really into this augmented reality. But again, there was a clear devoidness of what I call spiritual curiosity. Now, it's interesting when I asked them about the paranormal. I said, do you believe in spirits and what have you? And it's really interesting because their games have taught them more than most adults that I know, including myself. They have a knowledge of the realm of where these beings exist, and they know them better than we do. They know their powers. They know their incantations. But they don't see it as what I would call in a white, black spiritual perspective. It's a game. And I'm thinking, okay. And then I asked myself as I was putting my notes for this show today, okay, how can I take this back? Because I'm not a gamer. My era was pinball and foosball. I really enjoyed that. Video games, I remember the very early ones, but it never had an attraction to me. And so as I see this nihilist, and this is what I believe, and it's just my opinion, is the result of these augmented reality, the video games that now permeate the consciousness of 3 generations now. And each successive generation is getting into what I'm finding into this realm that life really doesn't have meaning. And when I heard that life doesn't have meaning, I asked this one young woman, I said, what do you mean life has no meaning? She says, what if that, what am I, what, and she looked at me, she said, what is there to be living for? And I said, well, how about the experience of life? And she looked at me and she said, what we see coming, it's not something that we're anticipating with excitement. I said, well, what are you anticipating? And they all looked at me and they said, war. Wow. Pac-Man, yeah. I liked Pac-Man, but I enjoyed foosball much better. Pinball was really, but yeah, nihilism. This is and you see it because I don't know how many of you have met people that just don't seem to care. They don't care about human life. Existence is really becoming mundane. As you know, years ago, decades ago, I worked on kids under 21, which was a teenage suicide prevention. It was a national PSA. Billy Joel did the song and did the background on the thing. But I looked at it today, and we're finding children. The youngest one I have found so far was 8, committing suicide. 8 years old. When I was 8 years old, the concept of death wasn't a reality to me. You know, second grade, I mean, it didn't even affect me. And I thought to myself, how does a child, second grader, suddenly have the depth of awareness for even the thought of taking their own life? I mean, that is the spirit of nihilism. I'm just reading some of this. This is a serious subject because, folks, it's impacting us all. As I speak, our world is being impacted by this. I call it a cancer. I don't know what else you could call it. If you see humans begin to expand where they have no hope, no vision, no future, no desire, living each day is nothing more than another exercise in mere existence. That sucks. And I just want, let's see, Sandy Scott said, I worked in a mental hospital and was shocked by a 6-year-old ran across my desk. Holy crap. Now, Sandy, see, and listen, I was in a mental hospital. My mother and her husband put me in it, but it was far out. It was Jewish Children's Hospital right there in St. Louis, right off Kings Highway. Best place, brand new. I got 3 meals a day. At night, they had the dessert cart, which was cool, had television, cool color. I watched the arch going up. So, yeah. Martin and Heidi, I didn't know. In India, Martin writes, in India and China, it is the kind of normal for kids. You see, this is, I bet Sandy, I could see, I would freak out too. I mean, what's going on? Years ago, I heard someone teach on nihilism. It didn't register with me that this could possibly ever become humanity's reality, because it's not taught about. It's not taught in eschatology. It's not taught in theology. It's not taught in politics. It's very, I haven't even heard of in that many writings, even in philosophy. I often wonder, what Socrates or Aristotle would say about nihilism. But that seems to be the condition we're heading in. I mean, the lockdowns, it begins to really. There's an article in the New England Journal of Medicine that's talking about the mental collapse that's coming, that they did not anticipate, particularly with children, locking them down, isolating them from social skills with others, that they're now seeing this as having a terrible effect on children. One school had to close down because the children lost their social skills. What's the implication for the future on that? I don't know. Hello, Divine Empress. How you doing? Randy, good to see you. It's weird. So, this is a book. If you want it, it's the Nihilist Notebook. More than welcome to. I'll send it to you. Now, this is, I think, really sets the stage. Dedicated to no one. Thanks for nothing. And that is a prevailing attitude around so many people. I mean, we got it the best we've ever had it as a species, at least what we can remember in modern history. But you got more people bitching than ever before. So thanks for nothing, right? All right. So you got to listen to this. People do some strange things. I have never heard of slash and burn body modification before attending a demonstration of this procedure the other night. Has anyone heard of this? Slash and burn? I've never even heard. And I thought to myself, Steiger, you're still in the cave, son. Because number one, tattoos, I have this fear of needles. I hate them. So that would preclude me ever of getting a tattoo. And then, I kind of grow and I'm thinking to myself, as my wife said, when a person's 20 and he gets a tattoo, it has a tendency to become distorted by the time they're 70. But anyway, back to slash and burn body modification. Slashing and burning involves carving a design into a person's skin, swabbing the wound with alcohol, and then igniting it. The idea is to create a long-lasting scar design. I have to confess, that is you see, I can't even fathom being in that state of consciousness. That is just so foreign to me. It's alien to me. Yet, there are other humans that, well, we'll read on. The evening began with a discussion on technique and theory. Theory. The technique I can get, the theory is what I got. Really? I mean, if someone has thought long and deep to actually postulate a theory, a medium-sized curved scalpel provides the best balance of control and efficiency when cutting a pattern into flesh. I did not know that either. You see what we're learning, ladies and gentlemen? We're the soul tribe. Avoid major arteries. Yeah, I think that would be important. I don't know, just on the side of caution. Avoid joints and areas where the skin is stretched thin over the bone. Okay. Now, my mind is reeling in the background going, if you have to explain this to a person, they shouldn't have that scalpel in their hand at all. But I digress. Cut from the bottom up, or else it becomes difficult to follow your design when the blood starts to run. No shit, Sherlock. 70 proof isopropyl ignites easily, but doesn't burn as hot as 90 proof. After the lecture, it was time for a demonstration. Now, in my head, I'm playing this out. Who the hell would volunteer for doing the demo? You see, that's why the concept of hell, torture and what have you, I think that those guys forgot to realize that there are some people that pain is orgasmic, they'd be in heaven. The first subject was a woman who wanted to design incorporating 7 lightning bolts sliced into her upper chest. Our instructor set to work, cutting confidently and precisely as the subject leaned back and seemed to enjoy the procedure. I'm freaking out just reading it. Each time that the scalpel bit into her skin, she emitted a loud groan, which I soon came to realize was not one of simple discomfort. Once the pattern was complete, alcohol and flame was applied to the still seeping womb, and the smell of burnt hair and skin filled the room. This was repeated no less than 10 times. The result was a cauterized arrangement of lightning bolts, which our instructor said would last anywhere between 1 and 3 months. You go through all of that just for 1 to 3 months? The second subject was a man who desired a Celtic knot pattern cut into his thigh. Once again, the scalpel sliced, blood poured and clotted onto the provided paper towels, and the subject grinned and groaned. The observers commented on how unusually beautiful and red his blood was. And one girl seemed especially obsessed with the manner in which it ran down his leg. Soon it was time for thigh flambe, and the assembled vampires oohed and awed at the flickering blue light. As an added irritant, the instructor introduced cigar ash into the wound, which she claimed would permanently stain the pattern into the skin. Okay, I hope you're not having lunch or you're listening to this while you're eating, unless you have a very strong, stomach. The lecture and demonstration lasted about 3 hours and succeeded in holding my interest as well as providing the titillation of a gross out. I can only imagine. You see, I just wouldn't, this would be counter alien to me. I would not fit into a group like this. They would be asking me, dude, why are you here? And I'm going, listen, man, I'm just on the astral plane. I ain't staying. Getting the hell out. The idea of body adornment through sacrification is nothing all that revolutionary. I hear that among some African tribes, it's all the rage. But the added touch of igniting the wound lends a bizarre addition to the cutting process, as well as providing quite a spectacular display in a darkened room. I can only imagine. The end result is fascinating in a gory kind of way, but not something that I would choose for myself. Glad to hear it, buddy. Then again, I've always been disinclined towards body piercing and tattoos as well. I am more of a voyeur than a participant. Well, at least he's honest. I was fiddling with a bump on my chin when the upstairs neighbors started making noise. I didn't like the fact that they kept late hours. I kept late hours too, but I like it quiet while I was awake at night. The bump on my face was one of 3 things: a bug bite, a pimple, or more ominously, an ingrown hair. Okay, I don't think I'm going to read any more of this because you see how this goes. What I wanted to get into was the fact, and we'll get out of this particular story, was that if this is an attribute to a nihilist, and apparently this is, this is his notebook. I find some of the stories a little not my taste, but in the adventure, folks, sometimes it all happens. Anyway, check the book out if you want it. Now, there is another book called Nihilism and the Meaning of Life. This is by James Tartiglia. It's a senior lecturer in philosophy at Keele University. And I thought this was interesting. In philosophy, in A Meaningless Life, he says, I set out to reaffirm the question of the meaning of life in the face of outdated positivistic instincts, the scientific and anti-religious sentiment that pervades much of contemporary intellectual culture, and in no small dose, I think, an existential discomfort that makes people reluctant to take up such questions. You know, I asked the other day on our show, what's your purpose? What's your mission in life? And again, you think it's a very easy question to answer, but it's not. The young group of people that I had the opportunity just to chat with briefly, they didn't seem to have much thought on what their mission is. Most teenagers don't, but someone had to plant the seed. He says, when I look to recent discussions under the meaning of life heading, I also felt the need to save the question from a group of contemporary valued theorists who have tried to make it something it is not, and to show that the genuine article is just as interesting for non-believers as it is for those of faith. Prominent as this agenda became in the final product, however, it emerged from other arms. And here's the point. I think religion, and I'll just lay this out, philosophy is in many cases a lifeline. You have to admit religion does give an individual, if they did not have a purpose, it seems to assign them one. Philosophy, I have found through the years, was to expand my awareness, particularly my spirit. My mind was already expanded. Folks, I took enough LSD that, yeah. But it was the spirit that I found, and that's where I was drawn in spiritual philosophy. Still am. And many of y'all are too. So about nihilism, if you can't find a purpose of your life, then nihilism would be a great adaptation for a person who seems to have a purposelessness in their life. That's why it's so destructive, because if it ever becomes adaptive, and I contend it is, I think in many of the political structures of today, it is nihilist in its foundation. I can't think of one world government out there that I'd actually say is a champion for human rights and human freedoms. I see today where the nihilists are attacking not only the mainstream religions, but they're attacking people like us, philosophers, spiritual seekers. We represent an existential threat to them. And as they gain more and more power, well, it doesn't bode well for those. And I heard in one chat room I was looking at, one person wrote and said, well, you look at the world's religions, they've had over 10,000 years to figure it out. And everything they have taught has been proven to be a lie. The lie is that, well, if you sacrifice and you're obedient and yada, 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 you're going to have a great afterlife. But no one ever comes back and tells us. And it seems like those who preach that message are the ones who get rich. And from a nihilist point of view, I would have to say that I couldn't debate them on that topic. I have not seen one thing that religion has actually brought to the benefit of mankind. I've seen it do just the opposite. So the idea of a reality, no religion, no politics, no philosophy, I don't know if I could live in such a reality. I don't see it possible. And he goes on to says, when I began to study philosophy, I wanted to know what it was, what made a discussion or topic specifically philosophical, and was amazed at the evasion, disinterest, even scorn, which this natural question typically elicits within the profession. It has been neglected just as much as the meaning of life. And I came to think that this was no coincidence. For as I argue in the book, when philosophy turned away from the meaning of life, it turned away from, its own unifying theme. This pushed philosophy to the margins of culture. For outside the discipline, inside as well, for the most part, nobody has much of a clue what philosophy is supposed to be. And the one question you would have thought would have been the prime philosophical territory is officially not. I cannot think of a better recipe for getting people to lose interest. And I think that that's what's happened. And I'll get out. This is, again, this is a interesting book. If you want it, I'll give it to you. So what is the purpose? I mean, I'll ask the chat room and those of you who listen to this on replay, can you argue against the nihilist position that religion has not benefited mankind one thing, politics hasn't, neither has philosophy? If it has, would we not see more evidence of the permeation of the thought itself spreading out and through the collective? I'm just trying to read the chat room. But it's a good question. How would you argue against the nihilist who says, show me proof of this utopia of thought, this love hug mankind? Show me where it exists. If it was here, it's gone. Why did it leave? Did we ever have it? Nihilists say that humanity has never been unified. And if it's never been unified, how do you propose through a religion, through a philosophy, through a political ideology that it would be unified? These are serious questions because we've got billions of people out in the real world that have succumbed to this. When hope becomes diminished, indifference rules the throne. And with indifference, that's not pleasant. And that's what technology is. I would put forth for discussion with the group, technology is nihilism. In fact, it's the epitome of it if you really look at it. I'm just trying to read some of the questions again. It's an interesting question. We are a group of deep thinkers here. And if you're not, welcome. Jump in. The pool's just fine. And no one pees in the pool. I do think that was someone told me about a commercial about a woman says, well, I'm going to have to get back in the dating pool and I'm pretty sure there's pee in it. I thought, yep. So this is an interesting point. And it's rapidly gaining acceptance. And it's frightening. I mean, if it becomes the commonplace, the norm and culture of our society, where do you get off this freaking planet, right? I mean, where could we go? I mean, to me, it's such a hideous thought But yet when I started looking into this and I'm saying, oh, crap, it really is. I mean, and then I started writing down and I still ask this, where is that message of hope? Well, love you as well, Susie Q. Hey, Nick Bravo, how you doing? So that's why we gather. We won't be doing any more things, but we had I just laughing on something I'm thinking. If y'all were inside here, oh man. Let's see. Lisa says, because mankind has been the proxy fighters in the wars in heaven, when you dumb down and brainwash, how can you be united? We are POWs. Lisa, you get a gold star. That all the P is in the pool. Oh crap, I never want to be single again, right? Never. Someone writing and there's still poo in there. Now I've got Caddyshack running around my head. All right. But the point is still well taken. Oh crap. Hey, Jenny, how you doing, dear? I'm going to have Jenny on tomorrow. I'm out of the pool, man. I'm out of the pool. I ain't even getting near the pool, man. You know, Frank Zappa had the song, don't eat that yellow snow. And I think we can all dig exactly. Laughter, I think, is really the antivirus. It is, but still, it's that question. It's here, and the argument is legit. And I think that's what's happening. Has man really come to the pinnacle of where all of our beliefs, those things that we've basically molded ourselves, defined our species, are all crumbling? Is this part of the entering into the new age? Is this part of this process that all the sloth has to come off? Because I agree with the nihilist in one aspect. I have not found any particular religious belief to fit the bill. And quite frankly, politics is the antithesis of unity. And philosophy, there may have been a time where then again, I don't know what it would have been like to be, a person living in 2500 BC. I wouldn't have any idea what Alexandria must have been like, or Constantinople, the great meeting places of the minds. I mean, if reincarnation is a fact of reality, most likely I was there. But then that kind of also says, well, I guess I still haven't found the answer. And here we are in the 21st century. And holy crap, Batman, we're not even near close to it. I don't know. Troublesome 90 says, the world's a stage, low key. I've waken up in the tank. Chrissy, I think you're right. It's all for the experience. You choose your own adventure. Yeah, but you know what? I don't want to go in the pool. I really don't. I mean, completely blew that metaphor out, because, natural, springs, that you think about it. Now humans come along. And then I think, well, Steiger, you're one of them. You're a human. Yeah, I know. I go, mm-hmm. But anyway, hey, Elderberry, how you doing? Good to see you. I hope it's a visit to Liberty. Alexandria would have been one of my choice cities if I could, who knows, maybe I will just go back in time and really check the scene out. From what I have read, it very modern city, had plumbing. And a great cosmopolitan area of culture, I mean, could you imagine to be able to talk to a Greek, a person who was immersed and had family in the Greek culture, and then at the same time to be able to talk to someone who was from Babylon, someone who was from Egypt? I mean, how freaking cool would that be? I mean, for me, it would be an adventure. Um, I have no idea what's going in the chat rooms. Seems like there's some conversation going on, but that's good. It's an exchange of ideas. But remember, Nihilist says also it's impossible for humans to communicate. You have to admit, we do a pretty bad job of it. I mean, could we get telepathy back, please? Please, that's what I'm saying. Get out of my head, man. But anyway, what is monkey experience? The majority of people that survive catastrophic struggles were asked what helped them survive. They all replied they had hope. Yes, hope. There's two activators of what brings faith into materialism. You have to have hope first, and then hope brings forth faith, and then faith, when fully matured, brings forth that. Hey, Lucky Stone, we are prospering. I love Poyel and Ariel. Yes. So anyway, see, Joyce, cheers. Telepathy is the cure. At least you can't screw it up, right? Could you screw up telepathy? That's a good question. I have not a clue. I mean, the shows that, we all grew up in science fiction and what have you, that the idea of telepathy is that apparently you have ability of a firewall where your thoughts can't permeate that. But then I go, really? I mean, once you're inside a person's mind, it's like a department store, I mean, are you going to go browsing through all their private stuff? I don't think so. I don't like what people have to think either. But I guess the question is, could we screw it up? I'm sure if there is a way, humans would find a way of doing it. Maybe that's why they took it away from us. Maybe we were really doing some wild stuff. Could you imagine? I mean, maybe that was the threat, the whole metaphor of the Tower of Babel, right? And, could it be for the fact that mankind was telepathic? Is that what could that been defined as the one single language that all humans possessed? There wouldn't be a need for a language or a tongue if you had and communicated telepathically. It would seem like that if there was really the first human, I don't know what that is defined as human, but if you look at the story, did Adam and Eve communicate telepathically? I'd probably say yes. Where there is man, there will be a screw up. William, you're absolutely right. We just seem to have that natural ability, I mean, if you watch the series Yellowstone, he just reminds me of Jimmy. That's all I can say. Okay, folks. Boy, this has been fun. See, this is why I like discussing these things. I mean, I still haven't seen the answers on this, but how would we argue against the nihilists? I don't know. Guy, yes, my wife and I, we've talked about this, and I know when we talked to, couples, yeah, they do. I hear Lynn all the time, and first it was a little uncanny, but we're getting used to it. It's not all the time, where it's constant, but it's really profound when it does happen. Hello, Karen, got to get you on, hon. Yes, Enter the Wind. Everyone see it down. December 19th. I think you will be with Nina. Is that right? I think so. Okay, folks. it's coming back. They made you smaller so you couldn't fight them in the physical. Yes, we were telepathic. I think we still are. I think that's how the angels talk to us. At least that's the way they talk to me. I haven't heard anything physical in an auditorial manner, but yeah. All right, folks, this has been fun. Enjoyed it. Thank you all again for your support. Yeah, you folks just don't know how much I truly do appreciate all of you. And though I just see it by many times the words that you're typing, there is a connection. And thank you for allowing me to be part of the Soul Tribe. Someone wrote to me, and you are a part of the Soul Tribe. Let me tell you, all it takes is the desire and the will. And as you will see, I like the differences of opinions. We can exchange differences of thought and still dig each other. That's what makes it all so cool. All right. So keep yourself happy. Learn to laugh. Good. Now, when we are attacked, and I mean psychically, spiritually, the best thing I can tell you to do, and I do it myself, is laugh. Laugh at them. And then it gets into the solar plexus, the good old belly laugh. Oh man, cleanses you all the way through. All right, folks, much love to you. Have yourself a great the rest of the day. Tune in tonight at artistfirst.com at 10 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. my time. And then tune us in tomorrow. I have missed Jenny on True Divine 44.